Kevin Hall, my man, what's happening, brother?
Not much. How are you, Pete?
Dude, you got to be doing great. Last night, I know you had to wake up early this morning to produce the Zach Owens show over there at the backyard.
Yep.
Did you watch the entirety of the game?
Absolutely. I have learned to never lose faith in this team. When Hallie hit that tire, we thought it was a winner at the time. My son, who does the show with me, jumped off the chair, did a lap around the kitchen, over the couch, tore up his ankle rolled his ankle on the couch, flipped the channel because he was just so beside himself excited. It was incredible.
So where are you from?
I'm from Indianapolis originally, moved around to different places and landed here in Waco.
Oh, man, it's great. Same as me. I bounce around a lot. I'm so happy to be here. Call Waco my home. Tell us a little bit about your show. I've heard it. I've watched it. It's really good. A lot of Colts. Give people a window into what they can find.
Yeah, we started with the Colts. My wife suggested that my son and I talk so much Colts, we should just start recording it. So 3 years ago, in the awful 2022 season, we started recording, and we did a whole bunch of Colts stuff. And then this season, with all the Pacers and the hype around the Fever, she was like, maybe you guys are covering the wrong team. So we decided to expand it and dip a little into all of the Indiana professional sports and kind of see what happens. So, and then this happened. So
yeah, this happened, and when you watch this team, a lot of times, or a lot of folks around the country, this is their real first look at this Pacers team, right?
Yep.
Because they're on the big stage or playing the Knicks, at the Garden last night, just an electric atmosphere. People, I think, still don't understand the depth of the Pacers team and how they just keep coming at you and coming at you. Was last night's win, was that like a signature Pacers win? That's kind of how they've done it all year long in tough games like that?
Yeah. Once again, they're down early. They cut it to 7 at half. They cut it to 3 at the end of the third. And then somehow they're down by 17 in the fourth quarter. And, my son's freaking out, right? He's, this is terrible. And then they start to mount the comeback. You had McConnell inject some energy in the second quarter. You got Hallie still doing his thing, which includes scoring, but also distributing. And then Neesmith just starts going off. And Nimhart is hitting stuff. And then in the OT, Obi Toppin goes off on his old team. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. You don't know what's coming at you. And this was just game one, which I understand the Knicks can come back, but the Knicks only roll with 7 and the Pacers roll with 10. And you never know who might be the death of you at any moment as they continue to run up and down, up and down, up and down. It's crazy.
Dude, Toppin, I thought, and a tip of the cap to their energy and resilience was that dunk he had at the end of the game. It's like, it felt like the Knicks were sort of standing in cement, and he was just this human pogo stick. And it was like, okay, yeah, it was very clear. Because even going into overtime, I felt like the momentum was so on the Pacers side. I bet the Pacers last night, money line. I mean, come on, that's a fun win.
Yeah.
And really, it was one of those games where I gave up on it. Like, I was like, whatever. I kept it on. And then all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, what do we have here? And on the biggest stage on the planet, sports-wise, the Pacers basically ripped the heart out of the Knicks and Knicks fans. What do you feel about their ability to sustain this? How do they keep their foot on the gas?
Yeah, I think it's, even when they were down 17-14, we were all sitting there watching. I said, you know what they got to do? Run. This is the Pacers' MO, we are deeper and more conditioned than you, and we are going to outpace you out of the gym. And, it's still the Garden, which is laughable to me as an Indiana boy that it is referred to as the Mecca, because we all know that they didn't make a movie called The New Yorkers about a basketball team. They made the Hoosiers for a reason, because that's where basketball lives. They just keep running. And you know that Knicks are going to come back and probably win game 2, because they're going to come back all kinds of upset. But then it goes back to the field house, and the Pacers have only lost one game in the playoffs there to the Cavs so far.
That's a daunting task. You talk about that, going on the road and going into one of the most beautiful arenas in the NBA, built a while ago now, still too. What do you think? Let me ask you this question, because I do want to get and talk to you about Jim Irsay a little bit. But the last thing on the Pacers is, if you could describe in a word Tyrese Halliburton, what word would you use?
Awareness. Like his awareness in the moment, 2 times now, to drive the lane, come back out to shoot the 3, almost a 3 this time. But then also his awareness of the floor and where to distribute the ball. The Pacers don't have anybody who's going to score 40 a night. Brunson can score 40 a night and still lose. But the Pacers, like I said, you never know where it's going to come from. But Hallie is the orchestrator of that, and his awareness on the floor and the moment is just absolutely incredible.
He met the moment. He sure did. And, it was one of the rare times, and again, remember, I had skin in the game, because I was hoping that the Pacers would win. I had them in the money line.
Yeah.
When the ball felt like it was complete chaos for the Knicks at that stage in the game. I mean, they couldn't inbound it. When they did, it was kicking out to half court. Like, oh my gosh, there's the ball. Like, are the Pacers going to grab it? No, the Knicks did. It felt like the Knicks were completely discombobulated. On the other side, like Halliburton, that ball was like a yo-yo for him at the end of the game. Even in traffic with time winding down, that was so clutch, in my opinion. Like, just ice water in his veins to be able to have that awareness you're talking about, to find the line, just so close, almost had a 3, but it went in anyways. That's a great point. All right, let's talk about a sad day yesterday for Colts fans. I actually love old school football and NFL films. So, the Irsay family, were notorious for a while. I think Jim Irsay took that notorious label and kind of changed it to outlaw, right? Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, they leave Baltimore under the cover of night in 1983. I'm from Philly, so it wasn't too far from me. That was just a gut punch to a lot of folks in that area. But, they settled down in Indianapolis, and Jim Irsay, a complicated figure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When you saw this news about him passing away, what comes to mind?
So it's complicated. Like you said, Jim Irsay, as far as a Indianapolis native, has done so much for that community. There is a legendary soul food place in Indianapolis called the Country Kitchen that burnt down, and he facilitated the whole rebuild and reconstruction from the ground up of that. He's known to go around in his golf cart and pass out hundreds to just fans for no reason. What he does for the community, and it did for the community, is absolutely amazing. His passion for the Colts is unmeasured. Once again, it's come from family lines, and now assumingly will continue to do that. But at the same time, the last years have not been great to the Colts, and there is some question within fans and in our show as to where the fault of that really lies. And this news presents a potential opportunity to see where that might or might not have been.
Yeah.
That make sense?
Well, it was more than likely unstable at the top of that organization.
Oh, yeah.
Because unfortunately, Jim Irsay with his addiction issues and there was an instability there. I mean, the guy, it was a shame. I watched a Real Sports interview, I think in 2023, and he mentioned he went to rehab 15 times at that point. And at 60, let's say at the time 63, he's walking. He can hardly walk, and it just shows the damage that he'd done to his body. But I would imagine, right, with all that, the damage to your body, also the mind, and like as a fan, and this is not, you just said glowing things about Jim Irsay, but did you almost feel like as a fan, like nobody was minding the store for a couple years there?
Well, there's sort of a meme that we have been putting around of the scene in the second Lord of the Rings where the king of what is he? Rohan.
I watched Lord of the Rings, but I'll trust you.
Okay. So there's a king who is under the spell of
the King of Rohan.
Yes, that's I was right. He's kind of under the spell of a henchman who is working for somebody else, and we kind of got the vibe that was Chris Ballard. He was the guy controlling. Otherwise, there's no explanation why Chris Ballard should still be around with the lack of success, specifically at the most important position in maybe all of sports, the quarterback, which he has run 4 quarterbacks to the retirement and a total of 18 different starters since his time taking over as GM.
Yeah, so who? And we got a couple more. We're up against it, so
yeah.
A couple more questions for you because I'm really enjoying this. Who takes over, like you mentioned, because this is something I really know nothing about. Who is next in line in the Irsay family to take ownership, to take the reins there?
He has 3 daughters, and if you've been paying attention, like I do, like we do, you can kind of tell 2 of them have been sort of in prep of taking over. I would say it's probably going to go to his eldest daughter, Carly Irsay Gordon. Kaylin Jackson takes care of more of the philanthropic side of things. They're kicking the stigma against mental health initiative and things like that. But as far as football operations, Carly's been on the sidelines in full get up and dress and everything in high heels with a wristband and a headset on, listening and kind of scoping everything out. So she's been prepping for this for the past 2, 3, maybe even up to 5 years.
What's the shelf life for my boy Chris Ballard?
I am honestly surprised he is back this far. And the Daniel Jones move, in my opinion, does not do him any favors. You have now pitted the 2 statistically worst quarterbacks against each other for the starting job. And then my thought process is, well, at least we drafted Riley Leonard. He might have a pretty good shot. He got trained by Phillip Rivers. He lives just down the street from him. So that's not bad.
Kevin Hall, tell people the name of the pod and where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's All Indiana Sports. And so it's on YouTube at All Indiana Sports. And you can get it to Spotify, Apple, all the podcast places you can get it.
Will you come back and join me again sometime?
Absolutely. Love it anytime. Anytime you want to talk Indiana, I'm here for you. I mean, dude, the Pacers may make it. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. I think
don't count them out.
You're getting real soon, brother. Probably next week sometime. Kev, thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, bud. Whoa, legend in the making. Kevin Hall. I like that guy, dude.